Hello all, welcome back again to my YouTube channel Zade Academy. Today we're going to talk about COUNTIF, SUMIF and the average functions. This is where we are starting to build formulas that really open the door to let us create some really cool, powerful, dynamic things in Excel. So right now we are looking at the COUNTIF, SUMIFs and the averageifs, and I'm gonna skip this slide and I will tell you why it is. It's because each of those functions also have a pluralized version. So COUNTIFs, SUMIFs, and the averageifs with an S at the end. The only difference is that these functions allow you to do the exact same thing but include multiple criteria instead of just one. And the syntax wise is kind of same thing. So rather than teaching you the syntax for the singular version and then immediately teaching you the different syntax for the pluralized version, let's just focus on COUNTIFs, SUMIFs and the averageifs, because you can use this version of the formulas even if even if you are just using one criteria, but they are open the door for you to include additional ones if you choose. So these are kind of the ideal ones to use. So let's focus on these for now. Basically what these do is they allow you to evaluate count, sum or the average based on multiple conditions or the criteria. So syntax wise, COUNTIF basically consists of combination of criteria, ranges and the criteria. So you will see criteria range 1, criteria 1, and then criteria range 2, criteria 2, and this extends for for as many criteria as you want to include. Then SUMIFs and the averageifs works the same way. There's just one additional piece, and that's right up front. You lead with either your sum range or average range. So the sum range is the range of actual values that you want to take the sum of, which is followed by all of your criteria ranges and individual criteria. So I know it's a little bit confusing at first, but I promise you, once you write a few of these formulas, they will start to become really natural. So now let's jump into an Excel and I will walk you through some examples of the COUNTIFs, SUMIFs and the average functions. Here we get some sample data here with some names in the column A, then the color in the column B, and the numbers in the column C. Some random numbers are these. So first of all, let's say we'll calculate the COUNTIF. So equals count if, open up the parentheses. We are just listing the criteria first. Criteria range, which is followed by the criteria. So my first criteria is column C. The criteria range is column C, which is from C2 to C21, which is the different values from like 1 to 30 in this case. We'll put the criteria now, which is comma, then criteria. Let's say we want the criteria greater than, in quads, greater than 28. We need to put this criteria in quotes because we're putting greater than equal to sign. If we are putting some value or selecting any cell, then there is no required of the quotes to be put in. So let's enter and see the values. So it's saying me that count if from this column, like from C2 to C21, the values which is greater than 28. This is the first criteria because we're checking for count if only. So the values which are greater than 28 is, we have this 29 and this is 30. So within this range we have only two values which are greater than 28. So that's our output, which is 2. Now same thing but having multiple condition for the count if. So let's say equals count ifs, open up the parenthesis, and you may see that there is a criteria range 1 now. So uh, let's say the criteria range 1 we are selecting as the same column C. We want that criteria to be output from this criteria only. So then let's say the criteria 1 now greater than 20. Now it is asking, which is in the black, bold black, it's asking for the criteria range 2. So first, we'll select the criteria range 2 now, but we will select this criteria range 2 from the another column. Let's say from the color, from color column we'll select this range, comma, then another criteria 2, which is, let's say, we'll select like this. If you're clicking on this cell, it will be selected, or you may select like this, putting the value as blue, but these are case sensitive, so we are putting in the chords. Let's close the parenthesis and hit the enter. You will get one as an output. So let's see what is the criteria we put in, and we'll get the output and how it is. So our criteria range is C2 to C21. So this column C, which is greater than 20 values, and then the another criteria is B2 to B21, which is this one, and the color is blue. So for the blue color, greater than 20, we want the greater than 20. Now how many blue colors are there? Blue one, then another, this one is blue, but this is 15, so it's not in a criteria. This is blue 2, it is 26, so this is in our criteria. Then last is blue, but this is 13, so which is not a less than, not greater than 20, so this is not in criteria. So this blue, it is in criteria of our formula, so that's why we get an output as a 1. Now let's jump into the sum if now. Equal to sum if, open up the parenthesis. So in the black, it says it's a range, it's asking for the range. So the count if and the sum if have the same formula. The only thing is the count if count the values, and sum if sum of the values. So that's only the same thing. So let's say we are taking the range from column C, then comma, then criteria. So if you are putting the criteria, let's say we want the values greater than 28, chords close and hit the enter, it's 59. Why it is 59? So we want the column, from the column C, we want the value which is greater than 28, and we want the output as a sum of those values. So greater than 28, how many values are there? Here 30 is there, here 29 is there, 27 is less than 27, so 28. So 29 and 30, which is equals to 59, which gives an output of sum of those values. So that's all about the sum if. Let's say equal to, now for the sum ifs, equal to sum ifs, open up the parentheses. Here remember one thing, we want the sum range first. So I'm indicating our atom is sum ifs, which is column C. This is what I want a sum of our values. So we need to select this column C first, comma, then the criteria range 1. Now where let's put one of the criteria from the column A. So we are selecting the I mean column A as a criteria first, and we're putting the criteria for this one. Let's say we need one of the name, first name, let's say Sarina. So let's select the directly tab, don't need to put chords and a name, so we are able to select the tab as well. Then comma, then the criteria range 2, let's again add an criteria for the colors, and let's say the criteria will be blue. So close the parenthesis and hit the enter. What the formula we put in is asking for, it's asking, we want the sum of range from this column C, having the first name, which is from this A column. We are selecting Serena, so we are calculating for Serena now. This is for this one. And then the another criteria is that from column B having color blue, because we select B2, which is having a blue color. So for this, let's we just jump it out and say check out, like Serena is there is one name available, the second, third, okay, the three names are there. So Serena 1 having the blue, which is 26. Then what is the criteria we have? Like it's Serena 1. Okay. So Serena, this is blue. Let's color this one. Then another is this one. No, this is not with the blue. This is Aquavarium. And the Serena with the blue is this one, first one. Sorry. So we have two things here, which is with the criteria Serena and a blue. So that's why we just make color to categorize it. So what we want, SUMIP. So SUMIP of those two things, 15 and 26, which is 41. So output is 41. So this is all about the sum and SUMIPs. Let's say for the average, let's calculate this equals to average. Same way for the average now. So we go faster now. Average, if open up the parentheses, we want the range. So let's say range is column C, and the criteria, the same thing. If you want greater than 20, as says the parenthesis, close the parenthesis, hit the enter. So average is this one for more than 20 values. Average, if open up the parenthesis, so average range, we want this average from this column C. Then criteria range one, say let's say for this first name as in criteria. Then what is the criteria? Let's say selected as for the Serena only. For the differentiate, it will be easy for differentiators. So another criteria in, let's say the color range, comma, let's say blue is the color for the next criteria, close the parenthesis and hit the enter button. So we get that 20.5 as an output. Why it is so? Because 20 plus 26, 41, which we calculate already, divided by 2, which is 20.5 as an output we get. So this is all about what is COUNTIF, SUMIF, AVERAGEIF, and COUNTIFS, SUMIFS, and AVERAGEIFS. So thank you all for watching this video. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe the channel to my SZ Academy. Thank you all.